Hello everyone and welcome back to Code with Italians. It's fucking September. It's not summer anymore. I mean, it's getting colder here, so it's fine. This means we are back because it was way too hot to stream before, but now it's great. So we are back today and oh fuck, Ivan, did you go to CERN?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was at it was a Vox Devox or the Vox Day CERN a few years ago when I was living in France.
Fancy. So
And I mean there
now
is
you
a
look
gift
like
shop.
one of the village people though.
Yeah, that was actually I need to just take this off. But I wanted just to show you. I mean, can you blame me buying something like this? I mean, you walk into a gift shop and there is something like that. I mean, you can't, right? That's legit.
Yeah.
So yeah. Bienvenidos a todos Código con los italianos. Hoy nosotros tenemos Roberto. Roberto, bienvenido.
Gracias, Iván.
Roberto, ¿hablas
de nada,
español?
Roberto. ¿Ah? La gente en la chat quieres ¿qué? El Ivano.
El Ivano es happen.
Y el Ivano está aquí, so ningún problema. Coding pizza. Yeah, I missed El Ivano as well, but my Duolingo journey is doing great. So, Roberto, thank you for being here. Sebastiano, welcome back.
Thank you, Ivan. Roberto, I would say let's have you introduce yourself briefly, and then before we get into the meat of things, we're going to have the Ivan thing, and I think there's going to be a small of a Seb thing, because I am so incredibly excited about what's coming from now to the end of the year. I'm like I need to say something about that. Go, Roberto. Who are you? What do you do? Why are you here?
Okay.
Who invited you?
Okay, well, those are four very difficult questions. So, who am I? It's myself. I'm Rob. Nice to be back here. Thanks for... No, wait, that's the fourth question. What I do for a living, I'm a DevRel at Google. I work on the large screen team. What do we do today? Large screens. And who invited me here? That's a mysterious question that we should probably reply at some point. Not today. But yeah.
I am the person that has invited you. Oh, wait. I think this is a very important moment.
Spoiler.
Because people have been asking for Spike, and Spike is here.
Spike! Yay. Here you go, Spike. Say hello to Mark Ellison and everybody else. Let me bribe the dog to look into the camera. Is he looking at the camera?
He is,
more or less.
Oh man. So again, Roberto, welcome. And
welcome
again,
back, you mean? I mean, he's a different person than he was the first time.
And this is also the second episode about large screens. So, I mean, this thing is serious, right? And
we only get Italians to talk about that, which...
Yeah, what's wrong with...
Means we care. We fucking cares. If if an Italian person cares, it's important. I think that's...
Okay. The largest screens.
Hey, I'm a fold the phone.
It's a foldable. So, jokes aside, Sebastiano, how do we want to do this? Let's try to regain our composure. Is it English composure?
Yeah, probably. Composure, okay. Same thing.
Compose is on brand.
I honestly don't remember how this works, so what about winging it as we usually do?
As usual, beautiful people, you can contribute to the stream. We're doing this for the lols, but we are also giving back to the community material things like our stickers. Can you see the sticker? Oh, by the way, I have a new camera. Coding Bits, I have a new camera. The one by Elgato because, of course, right? I'm Melivano with the Elgato camera and also El Perro on the couch. So this is super on brand. So we can do the usual sticker announcement. So we're going to give away stickers as usual. If you are a subscriber, you can also win, if you are lucky enough, the Holo Angry Pizza sticker that you cannot buy on the store. On our store, you can buy things like the YOLO sticker that you can see here, and it's the same for my t-shirts that you can find on the main t-shirt store. We have our best-selling sticker that is the invalidate and restart, because that's what we do. And we have a handful of other stickers. You can get them separately. You can get them with a mixed all stickers pack. So pick your tier and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like the videos; it's very important for us. Everything counts for the support. If you have an Amazon Prime subscription, as I already said in the chat, I'm gonna just pass the link again. If you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you can connect your Amazon account to the Twitch account, because Bezos bought everything a couple of years ago, and you can subscribe for free. Every month you can subscribe for free to a Twitch channel, and you can support us basically for free. Yeah, I mean, Bezos is paying for everything, and I'm not sure that he's gonna be short on money anytime soon. So just think about that. And what else,
I think
Sebastiano?
there's one thing that I would add to that, which is we have a new T-shirt that I'm very happy about.
Oh yeah,
which is the it's the invalidate and restart T-shirt. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Do you want to bring the mood with you? Now you can do it. Wear it proudly. Invalidate the cache and restart.
get ready for conference season for DroidCon Turin and DroidCon
Oh,
London.
yes,
By
yes.
the way,
We are.
We're still running the discount code for both the conferences. We are giving away a free ticket today. We are also giving away to one of our Twitter followers the one copy of Jetpack Compose internals. If you really want to understand what the hell is going on here when Leyland or people like Chuck come to the show.
No spoilers.
No,
That's
I mean,
my part.
We have previous episodes that you can check on our playlist, right? And yeah, we have a bunch of stuff. So thank you for the support. Well, if you just want to support us on Ko-fi, you can subscribe for a monthly donation to our cause according to the tier that you pick. You can access the Discord channel, server, whatever. And if you go for the biggest one, we have a few people. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Tudor. You will also get some really sweet stuff. We are getting ready to ship the big supporter Italian food and
just waiting
beverages.
for the last bit that we have had custom made, and you're gonna get before anyone else can. So
yes, so new swag is coming. A lot of people are coming, and this is great. Sebastiano, do you have something to add?
Yes. So as you might have noticed, we really like having people over, good friends like Roberto here, because they always have something very interesting to teach us, and we're here mostly for that. So I might have gone slightly overboard booking people. We have a lot of slots booked, I think until at least mid-November. Trust me, you do not want to miss any of those. I am just going to tell you next week, we're going to have our friend Marcel back with us to see what's new in Glance. And the week after, we're going to have Leland back with his teammate that has worked on Live Edit. So we're finally going to understand how Live Edit works, which I am incredibly excited about. So that's just the start. Consider this is the beginning. This is this is not
Warm-up.
everything that we have in store for you over the next few months. So yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yes. I'm very excited. Just one piece of stats, because we are nerds and like real nerds. We ran an experiment in the last couple of months to try to make our community more inclusive, and it was a success. We are very proud. It was a huge investment for us, but we are very committed. And as just a tiny bit of statistics, in the last 4-5 weeks, 70% of our audience on YouTube were women. And look at this. So
are you
this
looking?
is
Are you showing the tattoo or?
No, I'm showing the goosebumps. Look at this shit here.
Yeah.
And this is an incredible achievement for us, and we are very proud, and we are very happy of the response of our community. So incredible work, and yeah, this is just the beginning. As Sebastiano said, this is just the beginning. So give me Spike. Jesus Christ. Mark, here you go. Get the dog. Okay. I mean, I'm trying to be like intense here, some deep, whatever. Anyway, thank you again, Sebastiano. Let's roll.
No, not me, Roberto.
Roberto,
Not
let's
me
roll.
too. Not me. I know nothing. I'm the Jon Snow of this show.
Okay, so we might have a
Team.
problem here because you were supposed to be the one that knows that shit.
Okay.
Was not prepared for that. Okay.
I just want to remind everybody that we are running a Slido, so I'm gonna just paste it in the chat. So if you have a question for Roberto, you just can put them there. And with this, I will say we can start with the Slido questions. Any kind of introduction by Roberto, any uncomfortable question from Sebastiano.
Me?
So,
I never
no,
do that.
I'm just
guess.
Just say.
So,
Well,
what do we want to do?
Rob.
I would say to start the app.
Oh God, the
The
app.
app?
Okay, I'm gonna.
The app, run the app.
I mean, we are here for coding. I mean,
Yeah, sure.
Not me. But
Okay.
Seb is clearly coding.
I mean, there's bread stuff, so yes, I'm coding. I think that's the criteria. How do you know if Seb is coding? Stuff is bread. Even like it's broken. The fact that it's broken because it's actually working just fine.
It's working even if it's giving you the warning. I mean, that's okay. It's not even a warning. It's an error.
But because I am me, I have updated the dependency a couple of weeks back, but it did run. It also crashes, but that's a different question. It's fine. It crashes on my Pixel 6. It was working fine on the emulator. It's okay. But because I am such a professional while the emulator boots, I will tell you how I spent a good half an hour today trying to figure out why the emulator was not booting at all. Turns out, for whatever reason, the hardware virtualization flag in the BIOS flipped itself off while we were not streaming. I have no idea how the fuck that happened.
What do you mean?
So essentially the emulator wouldn't boot because it was saying, oh, you need to enable hardware acceleration in the BIOS to use this emulator. And I was like, yeah, I did that. And it was saying, no, it's not done. So I had to, like, at some point I was like, okay, fine. I rebooted into the BIOS and yeah, it had turned itself off because magic.
But did you update the BIOS any chance or something like that?
Yes, maybe I did. Maybe that's why.
And you know, as a classic, why would you keep the settings, right? I mean, just gonna flash everything and forget about any custom configuration of the user. So go user experience. Anyway, happy that it now runs.
Yes.
Was it already that ugly before?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
It's just mildly uglier because it has dynamic colors now, but
Okay.
it looked nicer when we didn't use Material View.
Cough. Anyway,
it's fine.
Roberto, do you want a question?
What question? I'm not seeing any question.
Okay, let's go for the first one.
Oh, in the Slido, you mean?
Yeah, on Slido, the one with the top.
Don't
top
forget
votes.
to vote.
Yeah. So, Compose on Android TV. Is it large enough as a screen?
Yeah, well, definitely TVs are large enough. Actually, part of my team only works on TV. So what would that be the question? Compose on Android TV?
Is it a thing,
Yeah.
I guess? I
Is it
honestly don't
happening?
know. Can you use Compose on TV? Do you need something that is missing?
Like a TV?
Like, I'm not sure. Well, obviously you need a TV. Thank you.
Well,
This is Roberto is processing the HR corporate course that he did last week. So Roberto, can you talk about it? I'm gonna give you a bit of time. Can you talk about this stuff, or we are gonna just shut down the stream at some point?
probably
If we see the lawyers that the SWAT Roberto in the background, then we know something has gone wrong.
Well, I was trying to think if I know anything about TV because I don't really work on TV at all. So
Fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, any answer I will give would probably be wrong. So
fair enough.
Thank you.
I mean, I work on large screens. Let's say that they are larger than phones and smaller than TVs, and definitely less movable than autos.
Okay, fair enough.
They are movable as autos.
Okay. So I was looking at the Compose roadmap, which I'm going to link now, because I seem to recall it mentioned Android TV at some point.
Or something, right?
Yeah, it's not there anymore, so I'm not sure what that means specifically. Wait.
Okay.
Wait. To the Wayback Machine. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I think that's how you can like version the Compose roadmap, because I think you get the last updated July. So let's see. Oh wow, the Wayback Machine is so beautifully 2001.
That's how it works.
So let's see this snapshot.
Nope.
It's gonna be fine. Oh, it wants the. It tried to do the OAuth for some reason.
Still going.
Yeah, still doing things. It doesn't matter. In the meantime, next question, I guess.
Next question. Okay, let's go with the next question, Sebastian. Right?
Did I break the Wayback Machine?
Yeah. So this page is available on web. Okay.
Thank you. I know that.
That's it's not working, Sebastian. I just drop it. Drop it.
It's fine. Next question.
Second question.
How do you bring a widescreen quote-unquote culture to a team that has never made a single mock-up for it? It's hard to get started without a company buying into the concept. So.
Oh, well, that's a very interesting question. So first, we need to do an overview of what we mean with large screen compatibility. So first, there are 3 tiers of compatibility. The first one is the tier 3, which is the basic one, which means that your app is large screen ready. That means that every user flow is doable on any screen, basically.
Okay.
The second one is the tier 2, which is the large screen optimized, where you actually will need to have, let's say, better layout, respect material guidelines in a different way, like buttons should not stretch to the full width of the screen. So it will be a slightly different experience from what you would have on your normal device. And the last of the tier, which is the first of the tiers because it's the highest. Anyway, it's the large screen differentiated. That means that, for instance, you have an experience which you wouldn't really have on. Actually, I can share with you the link, Seb.
Oh, if you have it, can you put it in the Twitch
Nice.
chat, please? Because I was looking for that.
Here.
Here
Everything
where?
that goes
Oh, it's a
in the
scap. Okay,
chat.
I'm gonna copy it. Don't worry. Thank you,
I'm
Rob.
also adding it to the episode notes.
So
Thanks.
going back to the overview, what I was saying, I totally forgot what was.
You were talking about tier 1.
Oh yeah. So for what concerns the tier 3, you don't actually need to change your designs. The important part is that your app works. And,
which is kind of like table stakes, right? You would assume.
Yeah, I mean, you would assume that it doesn't break and everything actually works from A to Z. So you can use your app as you would on your phone. It's not optimized because that's not the goal of this tier.
Okay. So the idea is that every app out there is tier 3 compatible, basically. Tier 1.
Let's say every app out there should be tier 3 compatible. Yeah.
Okay.
That would be the easiest of the tier to achieve. One very important pillar of the tier 3 is that the app should handle the configuration changes gracefully. That means that you should not lock the orientation. You should not constrain the size of the window of your app, and you should react properly to a keyboard being attached, detached, or anything like that.
Right, because I think that's also one of the things that differentiates it with what you would do on phones, is that you have additional modes of input, for example, that you need to take into consideration. And maybe you're lucky you're using standard stuff, so it's handled for you mostly. But there are things that can break an app if you start doing custom behaviors, I guess. What kind of things do you reckon would be like, how can someone know if they need to do proper testing? Like which kind of APIs or API surfaces rather would you have to be using for things to be likely or more likely to break?
Well, one thing is definitely managing the configuration change manually.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say that the easiest path would be you rely on your architecture to provide state retrieval upon every configuration change. So you don't need to manage the configuration change at all. So you don't manage the orientation, you don't manage the keyboard. You just say, whatever comes, my app will restart, my activity will restart, I will restore the state, and everything will work flawlessly. That will be the happiest path. Because one problem that you might be facing, for instance, is that you lock the orientation, and so you say, okay, on my manifest, I will just say configuration change, orientation. What happens is that when you plug a keyboard, or you use a Bluetooth keyboard, or you plug a mouse, or you plug a controller, your activity restarts because you are not managing the keyboard input there. That's one thing that can happen. But actually, we could try all this stuff on your app.
I'm sure it's gonna crash because it's my code mostly.
No, but So this is something that I want to explore a bit more, because in my experience, let's say in the last 10 years, most of the apps that I worked on, they were portrait locked, because, well, you never have a landscape layout. I'm too old to handle the configuration change, even because the layout is still ugly when
Because
I rotate the screen.
we need to ship tomorrow.
Yeah, because we are already late and we need to ship. We are like 2 weeks late, and we need to ship as soon as possible. Our even if we are a startup, then nobody's using. We don't even have a product, but we are late, so we need to ship it, right? So that was always the mindset. And I know that in before, this is why my in before, I know that configuration change doesn't mean just you rotate the screen. Is also, if you change the language, or if something other thing happens. But that's even less I give a shit about that, because if you don't even care about rotating, let's forget about language change or whatever it is. So that's not a easy step to make at the beginning of the let's support large screens.
Well, I can see where this is coming from. I mean, I've been a developer for quite a long time as well. There is a big but that we should consider, which is the following. Now, from Android 12L and above, you actually can always force any app to be in multi-window mode. What does that mean? Imagine that you have a tablet, so you have a 10 inches display. You want to run your app. You say, oh well, my app is portrait lock, so I have to rotate my tablet. At some point, you want to, well, you can run two apps at the same time, because you can. So you force the app to be to be both displayed at the same time, and well, now they have to split the screen, the space that they have on screen. So of course the app gets redrawn, but at this point, it gets redrawn in an horizontal space, because you have your tablet, your vertical tablet, 7, 10 inch, whatever, you split it in half, and those two halves of your vertical tablet, it's actually horizontal halves. So at this point, even if you don't want to support landscape for some reasons, you find yourself in a situation where your app is actually displaying in a more horizontal way.
I remember one of the projects that I worked on back in the day. That was back when I think it was Nougat came out. There was, I think it was the release that introduced the picture-in-picture and multi-window, or at least resizable window support in Android. And that app was an application where you can watch TV shows, movies, whatever. And they, like when that Android version came out, I went to the project manager, I guess, on the client side, and I was like, so now people can resize activities, they can make like picture in picture if they want. And what they said, like their first reaction wasn't, oh, let's design for that, was how can we prevent them from doing that? There were some reasons, at least against picture in picture, mostly in that case, I think related to the fact that they were contractually obliged to show ads full screen, which is also something like sometimes you have to respect those things. So I guess the question here is, what do you do? Like, because I know that there are some flags where you can say, oh, this activity cannot be put in split screen, or this activity cannot be resized beyond its initial size. So what are those options, and when is it acceptable to use them, and why shouldn't people use them to begin with?
Well, bear in mind that with Android 13, actually you can have multi-window everywhere. So that's one thing. Another thing is that every OEM could possibly decide that they want to override the flags that you set. So those are two things that will say, no, you should not do that. On the developer side, I think that you should not. The reason why you should not do this, it's mostly because there is compared to what we had a few years ago. Now it's quite simpler to retain your state. Like imagine you just put a view model, your place is there, your state, and you just get it when you need it. It doesn't really. I mean, you have to make the effort at some point. So,
but what would you suggest? I mean, going back to the question by Stylianos on Slido, to introduce a widescreen culture into your team. I mean, my constant pushback is that, oh yeah, there are basically no Android tablets, and we don't have a layout for tablet because we are not supporting iPad. There is a lot of pushback, especially because there are very few devices, and if the designers they are always busy, and if you don't have a strong commitment from the company to actually invest on large screens, you won't have probably support from your team as well, right? If you are the only one that wants to do large screens because you want to see a rail drawer because that's so cool, but then they don't have it on iPad, or we don't care about that on iPad. So do you have any advice or a strategy to create some sort of sensitivity on the topic?
that's a very, very interesting question. And honestly, that's also quite hard to answer to. I know that the company buy-in is not easy. One thing that we can do is actually making sure that our app is at least tier 3. That means that it will be easier also to get buy-in with your product, because you can, once you're at least tier 3, it means that it works on tablet, which is fine. At that point, you have all the time to make the adjustments that you need to do. But it's important that your app works.
Can
From
we
A to Z, everything works.
Can we say that for most people the investment for being in tier 3 is probably fairly small?
Well, it really depends on the code base.
Fair enough.
But usually there are a few points where you will focus. There are a few points that we can explore afterwards on the bundle app.
Mm-hmm.
But usually you don't cross all the boxes. I mean, you just say, oh yeah, you have 25 items that I need to fulfill, and they fail on all of them for 2 reasons. These are advices and on things that you could improve. So they're not like mandatory checks or anything. They're advices. And second, it's impossible that you really do everything. Like you use all the sensors, all the cameras, and all the paths are actually super important at the same level. So
honestly, sometimes it's even hard just to get the physical devices to test with, because say you want to test on a device that is like the Surface Duo and you don't live in the US, you're kind of fucked at that point. So I guess that you have to try to do the best you can.
Yeah, so in Europe, it's a bit more complicated to get these devices. I mean, the only foldable you usually get easily is the Samsung one. There are other foldables in the APAC market, like the Xiaomi that was announced a few days ago, or the Oppo that was released last year. And there is the Surface Duo in the US. So yes, it's not that easy, and also it's not easy to get them. One thing that you can do is leveraging two emulators. One is the resizable emulator that is shipped with Android Studio, if I remember correctly. It's
Electric Eel, yeah.
It's the kind. I don't really.
The one that says experimental, very large next to it. I mean, I like it. That's how I roll. That's how we roll here, anyway.
Yeah.
And I know you're the alpha person, anyway.
Yeah, I'm all in for alphas. So yeah, this is one. It will let you emulate everything from a phone to a big computer, which is great. Also, there is, if I remember correctly, the Surface Duo emulator.
There is.
I didn't try it, so I'm not sure on how it works, but I suppose that it works like every Android emulator. But yeah, to test, I would say that your best shot as of today will be the resizable emulator.
Yeah, I think we tried a very early version with Pietro when he was here in was it May, something like that? I don't remember. Even we'll find the link to the video for sure. I am in the background downloading the newer version because obviously Android Tiramisu has been released stable in the meantime, so I need to download the new system image. It's probably downloading it at like 10 kilobytes per second, but it's fine. I only have a gigabit line here. It's okay. That's why I'm not sharing the screen. We'll get there. Don't worry.
So
let's pick another question, shall we?
Sure.
Because now I'm curious, because all our questions are by Stylianos. So this is basically a 101 by Stylianos and Roberto. So for a Compose app, feels like adding widescreen support is doable. For a hybrid, I mean, what's with the?
It's an apostrophe.
It's an encoding. Okay.
Ivan,
you
should learn the escape codes by heart.
Yeah. Also, why don't you get the apostrophes on your? Okay, I'm gonna
No.
read on my
I think this is Slido. I think which is fine because it's not owned by Cisco. It's okay.
It works on my Chrome. I mean, I can read it properly. So for a hybrid, I would rather die than do it. What's your view as Android view with widescreen support? Yeah, because they are basically, if you are migrating to Compose, that's how I get it, right? So if you're migrating to Compose, would you bother trying to add the large screen support, or you will wait probably to fully migrate to Compose?
It really depends. There are several solutions that you can apply with views based on your architecture. So let's start from the probably oldest approach. So you have several activities. So there is a solution there which is called activity embedding. That means that you basically can show two activities side by side or one stacked on top of the other based on the screen dimension based on the space that you have on the screen, and that will basically just run. It will take your app task, split it between two activities, and let them run side by side. An example of these is, for instance, the settings app on the Android system. This uses the activity embedding for some very particular. Yeah, I have that there as well, Seb.
Oh, okay, yeah. Just share the links, Rob.
The chat, I'm saving it.
Share the links. I'm ready to get your links.
And the fun fact is that basically it doesn't really require you to code much. You just need to define the splitting rules. Once you do that, it's basically end of
Yeah, you don't have to do
place.
much else, right? Because the activity embedding is going to take care of showing them both at the same time for you, and then you're pretty much done. I guess
Yeah,
that's like more of a like an interop thing, like a legacy support thing where you can say, I have my activities, they work fine. I would just need to show them one side by side, because at the end of the day, most of the time you end up doing things like list detail view, where you show the list activity and the detail activity and you're done. I mean, it's not pretty, but it works.
yeah, and it manages navigation for you as well. So
Oh, that's cool.
that's okay. And you don't need to actually change any code because it will work on phones in the same way. It just would not show them side by side.
Oh,
Rather,
that's nice.
yeah. So that's one thing that you have. For what concerns instead fragments, it's not as tricky as it sounds, because actually there are multiple solutions that you can apply. For instance, imagine that you want to show something like the settings and you have fragments. You could use the sliding pane layout, which will do basically the same that activity embedding is doing, but with fragments. So that's
Right. Yeah, because I knew about that, but I had never heard about activity embedding until the other day when you said, "Oh yeah, you want me to talk about this?" I was like, "I don't know what that is, so yes, please."
Yes, please.
And yeah, that's part of the window manager library on Jetpack. So
Okay. So if it
that's
doesn't
actually a very
work,
interesting topic as well.
if it doesn't work, it's Vadim's fault, is what you're saying.
Come again?
If it doesn't work, we can blame Vadim.
Yep, not me. Just the developer
Don't
here.
shoot the messenger.
For what concerns views, you have several solutions there. I mean, you could adopt the sliding pane layout to achieve the same. You could use constraint set. You could do everything custom. And so there are solutions for views as well. If you're using Compose, it's probably much easier. But with views, it's not that complicated either.
That's
And so
so.
did we have another question?
Just because I might have missed that bit when you were talking about the, like, when you have a mix of because you're migrating and you might have half compose and half views, in that specific scenario, what would you do? Would something like using compose to have the adaptive part and then just embed existing view stuff and then slowly migrating those views into compose work and make sense?
Well, one thing is that you should, every time you use compose and views together, you actually pay a price. So you should limit that as much as possible. Of course, you cannot just wake up one day and say, oh yeah, today I'm going to convert my whole app in compose and that'll be done by today. It will be merged by tomorrow, it will be released by the day after. That's not really how it works. So that said, apart from the performance price that you're going to pay for sure, you should limit the time that you go back and forth between compose and views. Both ways will work. You use your composables inside the views, or you use your views inside composables. That will work exactly the same way. It really depends where you are at. Imagine that you have, for any reasons, your composables inside the fragments. You could use the sliding pane layout. It will work.
But
no issue. Well, it will work. And or the other way around, you started using Compose from the ground up. So you have all your navigation, all your, let's say, border, everything that is not like the specific components in Compose, that will work as well. So it really depends. Just one thing to keep in mind is that you should cross that bridge between Vue and Compose the minimum amount of times as possible, because
So
that's
avoid
where,
having a compose that contains views that contain compose that contain view. Like that's like the nesting is what you mean. You should avoid.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds intuitively like a bad idea.
It's more or less like when you had like 25 layers of views inside your layout, and you're like, oh yeah, probably this could be flattened at some point.
Did you say Flutter?
Sounds like this is this sounds like a bad idea. Okay, so I think we have one more question.
Okay, let's take the
for
last
slide.
question and then let's see the resizable emulator that has finished downloading and is now booting the first time.
So once again, Stylianos asks, what metrics would you suggest putting the emphasis on in order to convince people that supporting widescreen is important? Any that stand out? Fold phones, maybe.
Well, we have a lot of hard questions today.
Hey, people here are smart.
Yeah, looks like Stylianos is very, very, very interested about large screens, and they want to persuade the rest of the team.
Yeah.
So
let's help
So-
Stylianos.
So one thing is that there is a huge number of large screen devices out there already, like more than 270 millions, which are not comparable to phones, of course, yet, but it's a lot. Another thing is that at I/O, Google announced a tablet, so that's another thing. So there is the effort from Google as well to bring these devices to market. And still, there are a lot of tablets from third-party OEMs like Samsung, mostly Samsung, that I remember. So there are a lot of devices out there. And yeah, those are the metrics that we can basically talk about. For what concerns devices that stand out, well, definitely foldables are really intriguing. I had the chance to test both the Fold 2 and the Fold 4. It's quite a mouthful.
All the folds.
And I have to say that I love them, especially the Fold 4 with the stylus support. It's really comfy. Like it's a very edge case. But the other day I was at the very first meeting at my firstborn school, which started school this year. Like he's 6, and he was complaining about not having homeworks yet. Would you believe that?
What have you
since, of
done
course,
to your son?
I have no idea yet. I have to debug him later. And yeah, I was taking notes because the computer they were using to run the presentation actually ran out of power. So they were
nice.
basically winging it, and I get to take notes. I didn't have anything because, of course, I don't like writing with normal pens. So I just had my Fold 4 with me, and it was amazing to just unfold it and start writing notes. Of course, you can do the same with the phone. I mean, you can start typing or whatever, but being able to have more screen real estate, it's really something that I personally love. So yeah, to respond to the question, I would say that the foldables phones are really intriguing, at least to me.
I mean, I want to try one at some point. That'd be cool.
There is a bit of entry level. Well, it's a high step because the money, plata o plomo, there is a lot of money to pay there. But I mean, especially the Xiaomi one, we were talking the other day. That thing is interesting. I mean, they innovated on a couple of things, like saved on another couple of things. You know, the phone is thinner compared to the Samsung one. But I can see the appeal, even if it's a new technology. Also, the UX, they are still figuring out things like you can take a selfie because there is no camera on the wide side, so you have to do the back. You need to take a selfie with the back camera, but then you have also a display on this other side. So it's a new thing. It's a new way of experiencing smartphones, because now you are more you feel like those old ladies with the iPads at concerts, right? That they take picture with those iPads. So it's
My favorite pet
it's a
peeve.
new yeah. Well, I mean that's and it's a 500 euros iPad, so I respect that. But it's still incredibly funny for me. But again, it feels like it's kind of, as you said, it's an edge case. It's kind of a niche area, but I would like to see more of those phones, because if you are like me, that you also read a lot. I mostly read on Kindle because I read at home, but I find myself with my Samsung tablet. Every now and then I have like something that doesn't fit on a Kindle, and I use the tablet to read, especially if you have like a computer science book or something like that. But then when I want to keep reading on my phone, it feels super weird, right? Because I have like a normal phone, and it's like very, very, very it's not wide enough to serve as a book reading device. Having a foldable there, it will be very cool. But then there is a lot of concerns about, is it the Kindle app is gonna support the foldable, right? The Play Books probably is gonna support properly. Again, there is a lot of uncertainties. There is a lot of curiosity as well.
So, as we mentioned earlier, the fact is that if you are at least tier 3, you know that it will work on a foldable.
Yeah.
I mean,
they will stretch, right? They will stretch.
It really depends on your layout. Ideally, if you're reading, you unfold the foldable. I always love to say unfold the foldable. Yeah, still mouthful, but nice. Your layout should somehow be close to a tablet one. So
okay. So when we talk tier 3, it's what supposed to happen when Sebastiano launched the app on a larger screen, right?
Yeah.
With bundle.
Exactly.
So okay, so what are we talking about? Sebastiano, can you run the emulator on a larger factor? Is it running? Are you having
It
issue
is
with
running
something?
now. People are actually seeing it. I was wondering why the posted test notification thing was not working, when I suddenly realized this is Android 13, and I have not requested the notification permission explicitly, and thus I cannot post notifications. So yeah, I guess I need to fix that.
The notification permission. Yeah.
We don't.
Thank you for not erroring out, Android. Damn you! Yeah. Why is this not printing anything into the logcat?
Well, even to continue our discussion about foldables, the camera thing is really an edge case. I mean, both the Fold 2 and the Fold 4 and I believe the Fold 3 have a front camera. So, I mean, can like use it open, but it's not the most comfortable thing to do, probably. So yeah. On the other hand,
There was the use case that they were mentioning in the review that I saw, and that felt very weird because it's definitely a new way of taking a selfie, but there were hardware constraints that I can understand because you can't have everything. So again, I think it's like you need a taste for that. Probably you should try a foldable for a couple of weeks and then try to understand if you're the target.
yeah. Well, I personally see that. Well, what I think, and that's my personal opinion, is that foldables are certainly a part of the journey that smartphone will make, and I can see more people using them because they're just more comfy. I mean, imagine like 5 or 6 years ago. Probably was way more than that. When the Galaxy S and the Galaxy S2 were announced, I mean, they were small. I mean, we saw them as huge. They were small. I can remember that I got an
Compared to
LG
today's
Optimus.
standard, they were freaking tiny.
Yeah.
Exactly, like a 4-inch display. Like the biggest one was the Note, that was more like a phablet than a phone. But now everything is a phablet. But can we go bigger than that? Probably not. So
Well, yeah. I don't think you can put something like 7 inches in your pocket without looking like a weirdo.
Well, depends on the
not 7
pockets.
inches, but we got to 6.8.
You also have to consider
Yeah,
that
but
7 inches, like 5 or 6 years ago, had like 1 or 2 centimeters of bezel, so it was almost
fair
double
enough.
the size of modern 7 inches.
But
It's still
I
big,
understand.
but
Yeah, but I understand that you get used to different sizes because I got a Pixel 6 last year or this year when it came out, whatever, I can't remember. It was December maybe. I had a Samsung S9. It was 5 something inches, and that was perfect for me, right? It was one hand handling, and then I got the Pixel, not even the Pro, the 6, the basic one, and it was massive. Okay, it was like, okay, this thing is so huge. But now when I use the old phone, because we still have it hanging around in the house, it's like this tiny. It looks like one of those. So
toys.
it it's always the same with this kind of technology. The same thing goes, when you buy a new hard disk, it's super fast and super empty, and then 2 weeks later, this thing is so fucking slow. And why is never so much space on the thing? Why is it always full? So I think we get used a lot of new technology very quickly. And that's why I'm not worried about the technology per se. Right now, it's just the price that is a bit not popular, I would say, as in people. But yeah, I I'm still fascinated.
Yeah.
Tell us a story, Roberto. I mean, I feel like you have so many stories. I want some anecdotes, Roberto. Something weird that happened
Ideally, that doesn't get you
while you.
fired.
Well, no, that's for sure. No, because I know your kids and your wife, so they will kill me. So
Yeah.
just let's play it safe. Let's play it safe. But what can you tell us? I know that Pietro bailed on you, leaving the team, but so there must be stories about this foldable because we saw it evolving over time with Google, and we see that there is commitment, but is also a slow technology that is trying to prove itself.
Yeah, it's definitely taking time to get to to get to everybody's hand, let's say. It's not easy, especially with foldables, for many reasons. As you mentioned, the price barrier is something that must be considered because, of course, you have phones that go from 300 euros to 2,000 euros. So, of course, there is a phone for every pocket, and not every phone is a foldable. Also, it's a very new technology. Like, apart from Samsung, which is at the 4th iteration, there is Xiaomi that is it that the second one probably?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember, but yeah.
Probably.
But they are cheap, but I don't even know if we can buy that thing in Europe, for instance.
I wouldn't know if they have, but more than if you can buy it or not, if it has play service support, which is what we will care
Fair
more. So yeah, but apart from that, there are also like the Surface Duo, but again, probably it's not easy to get. So put that like the fact that there are not many models out there, and they are all more or less like top tiers, and the fact that it's not easy to get them with all the short material shortages and everything, and it's taking time. Apart from that, I think that there is a huge opportunity for the whole ecosystem to make better apps, because if we can at least make every app work on a tablet or on a large screen, that would be super awesome for our users in the end. Because we can't really say, yeah, my users will be always only using a phone, and my app will be the only one that will run at every specific moment. Because those are the two questions that you might ask yourself. So yeah, it takes a bit of time, but I'm confident.
So you will suggest to start supporting like a tablet, just as tipping your toe in a large screen world, and then trying to probably explore like split window kind of thing, and then when the market is a bit more mature, you start exploring foldable. Oh, the moment you can afford a foldable, maybe.
Well, it really depends on your timeline. But so, as we mentioned earlier, the highest tier support would be the large screen differentiated. That means that you have a very different experience for tablets, foldables, phones, and every other screen. So let's take, for example, a video messaging app. So you might say that you have just the face of the person that's speaking to you on your screen. If you are on a smaller window, we'll define a bit better this idea of smaller window. Just bear with me. Or imagine that you have a foldable. You could definitely say, oh yeah, I have the whole space. So what we can do is that you not only see the face of the person, but you also see the chat on the side. Or if you fold your phone halfway, so it's like in this angle, you can say, well, perfect, I can see all the people in the call, and put some chat controls or call controls below. If you're on a tablet or Android TV, that could change again. You could have like more people, you could have more controls, a bigger chat. It really depends on the experience that you want to give. But one thing is that it should be, it's important to not think about specific devices, but about the amount of space that you have. Because even on tablets, or imagine that you have like a 15 inches 12K display. Does it exist a 12K display? Probably not.
No.
64K.
It's very dense. That's definitely
like 12K,
very dense.
12K is a lot.
A lot of pixels. A lot of pixels.
The
You have a
highest
lot
you
of
get now
resource-
is 8K if you want, but that's on TVs. So
and
Not
for some
fancy.
reasons, your app is not running full screen because your user want to actually make it run in a freeform window, so like a normal desktop app. Well, at that point, it doesn't matter if you're running on a phone or on anything else, because what you can actually control is the amount of space that your app can run in. So that's the important part. You have an amount of space on the screen, and you should optimize for that amount of space. It doesn't matter if you're on what you're running, because basically even on a huge display, you might not be running full screen, you might not be the only app running, and you might be running on a very small portion of the screen, which is close to a phone.
So, as a developer, you will suggest to focus on the screen state instead of the piece of metal that you are actually running on.
Yeah, the amount of space.
It's not the device that matters, is how big the screen is, in a sense of not even the material size. It's more like how much of that space you have.
Exactly. There is a library for that, actually. And there is also some guidance that I can share with you about that. Basically, we defined...
Throw it in chat.
Yeah, let me find it. Let me actually...
in the
So,
meantime,
Sebastiano, you were
I
able.
managed to add the request for notifications thing to the app. Obviously, I've done it in the worst possible way, so don't copy that code.
I
But it
like,
works.
yeah, the way you basically turn our stream into some ASMR where you code with two people that talk in background.
It's it's very relaxing.
That's fascinating. It's like, you know, when you have the TV turn on and you're cooking, basically,
Yeah,
right? That's
yeah,
we
yeah.
are the equivalent of cooking with the TV on. Okay, this is
Exactly.
like it's okay. So where is it? So you send the link here. Let me grab the link. I'm gonna just throw it in the chat. So this is the links. So support different screen sizes. Sebastiano, can you show the page, please?
Yes, I am just copying the link now.
So what we're talking here is the window size classes, which are a set of opinionated breakpoints that will tell you more or less in what kind of scenario you are running. So we define 3 buckets: compact, medium, and expanded, for both width and high, and it will tell you how much space you have to run in. So of course, here there is the example of an app running in full screen, but imagine that the same applies if your app is running in multi-window or in a freeform window. So if you leverage these, you're always sure that you are running in the right amount of space. But sorry, come again. You're considering the right amount of space rather than saying, "Hey, I'm running on a tablet, so just take all the space."
Yeah. But you know, this is the part that unfortunately I don't see myself quickly able to convey this concept, because we are so attached to the idea of, okay, this is an iPhone, this is a Samsung S20, this is an iPad, this is add non-existent Android tablet market leader, but now we are completely shifting to the mindset is changing, right? Because now, and this is even more complicated, it's even harder than it was before, because, you know, if it's tablet versus phone, I can always pull up some numbers and say, yeah, I know that there is always iPad, but, you know, did you know that last year Samsung sold a gazillion S, some Galaxy Tab, whatever, These are numbers, these are real users. But now if you abstract away the device, it's just how much space you have, because you could run on a Chromebook and then somebody tells you what's a Chromebook. Oh yeah, it's a kind of laptop from Google, or from Lenovo, from whatever, but I never seen one of that. And then because emerging countries, a lot of kids at school have Chromebooks because it's just a couple of $100 and you get a computer, and then you start losing them. I feel like I'm instantly losing them the more I step outside the. Apple doesn't have it. It's incredibly sad. I'm the first one to say that it's unfortunate for us, and I really wish that it will be different. It was but this is probably what the struggle that Stylianos is going through as well. Like how I can convey the fact that Android is more than the fucking dynamic island bullshit that the rest of the world is looking at, right?
Yeah.
It's a hard question. I don't expect an answer from you, Roberto. I just want to put this on the table. The feeling that probably the Android community is having when you talk about
Yeah.
breakpoints and DPs and things like that.
Yeah. Well, one argument that one could bring to the table is the fact that this is not really new. I mean, it's new to us, Android developers, but I mean, it's been on the web for a lot of time. I mean, every designer out there is aware of media queries and the fact that if you resize the window, well, you need to resize the content. It's
Fair
just
enough.
a matter of putting that in the right light, I believe.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not an easy. I mean, we're talking abstracts here, so
Yeah.
of course it's easier. But if you think about window size classes as the equivalent of media queries, but for Android, it's probably easier also for a designer. And this is important because every designer knows that you cannot you cannot just say this is the space I want and that's it. You're not gonna resize the screen.
Yeah.
This is gonna resize it and you have to react to that. And I believe that this is close to be the same on Android.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like saying, yes, this is something that we are investing in already for the web, and our designers know how to handle for the web. That's probably a good idea. It's like a way to say, hey, listen, we're doing this. We're also doing this to a point for iOS, probably, because most companies would like to have a decent experience on iPads as well. So it's like, why aren't we doing it on Android? And I guess partly historically the reason has been that doing this stuff with views is a pain in the ass. But that's where Compose comes in, I guess, and that's where you can, if you are struggling to get buy-in to start converting your app to Compose, this could be also like a virtuous cycle that you can say. So we can actually do this is much more manageable in terms of implementing the different breakpoints, assuming that we start doing Compose. Maybe it's not going to be today, maybe it's going to be in a year or maybe 2 years if it's a giant app, but you don't need to do it today, but you want to be ready when the time comes that the requests from our users are there. You want to make sure that you don't find yourself that in 2 years, maybe 30-40% of people use foldables for their phones and you're not supporting any of that and your app is shit and they go to your competitor because your competitor has done a better app and people prefer to use something that works well to something that doesn't work at all if they can help it.
Yeah. But actually, there is a way to know if your app works and how it works. So if you want to switch to the app, we can actually check if it works.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, so let's apply the advices. So the first thing to check, if you click on the icon that is close to the one that really looks like a video camera from the old days.
Display mode.
That one. Yep, if you click there, you can put it into a foldable, or even a tablet. Okay, so first thing, looks like it actually stretched. Otherwise, you would have seen like two black or colored based on the OEM bands on the side. That would mean that your app will be letterboxed, which is not, so it's good.
Tier 3, tier 3, tier 3.
So try to rotate the device.
Oh, man.
It doesn't.
It was easy.
Woo!
It was
Tier 3, tier 3.
Wow. Okay. Well,
I suspect this probably is my fault.
no shit, Sherlock. You're the one coding since like last year. Okay.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
it doesn't crash. It's
Tier
not really
3,
usable, though.
tier
So
3.
probably those margins should be
Well,
adjusted.
I just want to point out that if this thing was crashing, we would have logs because I, against
Sebastiano broke it.
yes, he broke it.
Sebastiano broke it.
And when this shit crashes, I get the logs because I install Crashlytics because I love Crashlytics.
Yeah, even we know. You'll get your time. Don't worry, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay, just say.
Okay, so
How did you break this thing so bad?
I have no idea. I honestly have no fucking clue.
So did you hard coded some like
Yeah.
somewhere?
So I think the problem is that when I implemented the fact that it doesn't look like shit entirely in portrait, because then there's different margins, I must have put like a completely random value for landscape. And that's why it looks like shit.
well, it works. So we're good there. Next step, which probably is not applicable to these because you wouldn't have bundle open the whole time in a multi-window. So it's if you get a notification while your app is in multi-window, would it work?
I guess.
Well,
So let's put it in readable mode. And so you said multi-window. So if I open Chrome, for example,
if you drag the Chrome up there, yeah, that's gonna be multi-window. Perfect.
Thank you, Chrome. This is not what I wanted, Chrome.
That's not multi-window.
Yeah, I think Chrome had different opinions on multi-window. No, I need to open this.
You should open.
And the emulator has died. Da.
Try again. Come on, give it another try.
While I try, do you wanna remind people that we're giving away some shit?
Yeah. I just threw it in the chat. So if you want to go to Droid Contouring, there is a free ticket that we are raffling in a few minutes. So Droid Contouring is in Italy and is at the beginning of October.
At work.
Yes, I love it. No, it's nothing. I just include. I'm not like a charity, Luca. It's just the ticket. We are not sponsoring you flight around Europe just to get to Turin. So if you want the ticket and it's gonna be free, just type DroidCon in the chat and we are gonna pick one. Whoa, Sebastiano,
that's not me. It's not me. It's just the emulator doing its thing.
Join the giveaway, type DroidCon in the chat, and then we are gonna pick one of the lucky people in the chat, and they are gonna get a free ticket for DroidCon Turin, and also stickers. It's also nice.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. No, Mark, we are not paying for expenses. Again, I'm not. It's not a business trip. It's just we are gonna give away a ticket. Okay, that's it.
So this is interesting.
So where are we?
We
So
are
what are we
at the
doing
point
here? So-
where did I not make this scrollable?
But why should it scroll? I mean,
I guess
does it? Should
it should, but at least it's easy to make it scroll. I guess.
yeah? Try again. Try again.
Yes. Uh, vertical scroll.
Yeah, should be vertical scroll. Yeah.
Remember scroll state and ship it. I
Yeah, it should
mean,
work.
hopefully.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
live edit was trying to do its thing.
So one thing to mention is that in this case, since even if it's in multi-window, you are using the app. So that's the top focused one. So in order to check if it really works, you should have another app that sends a notification and see if your app actually updates.
Oh God, you're making my
That's
life
not the
difficult.
easiest thing.
Yeah, it scrolls. Can I do like
Okay.
test web notifications? I mean, let's use the web, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
The emulator is struggling.
The emulator is struggling a lot.
Yeah, it's not an easy task.
Yeah.
Oh, but
this is
the
fine.
hardware acceleration. No, it's the hardware acceleration. Yeah, I had the same problem with Android 12. You need to turn off whatever hardware acceleration, something.
Yeah, I think it turned itself off.
Now, it crashed.
Fine.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Advanced
Can you?
graphics software.
Yeah, let's go with software.
Let's see if we can make it.
Yeah, this is going to end well. Yeah, that's perfect.
Apparently, my GPU is too good for Android tiramisu.
No, it was the same with Android 12, whatever, 13, something. I can't remember. It was a few months ago. I couldn't take screenshots because they will look like all broken.
Garbled? Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I guess we're sticking to our usual tradition of filing issues and linking people to the stream
Yeah.
to see. That's
Yeah,
the repro steps.
Yeah, that's what we're breaking shit all constantly. I just broke the backend, so we are gonna run the giveaway with the old service because I just broke our backend. Yeah. So yes, and I have a screaming baby in my background. I mean, this is fine. This is fine.
But
This is fine. Yeah.
screaming babies are the new normal. Don't worry.
Yeah, you can't relate, right?
Totally not. I don't know
No?
what you're talking about.
No. Okay. Maybe Mike in the chat, he can relate. Screaming kids in background during meetings.
I don't have any of those. Never had. Today I got a new way of being interrupted. I said, "You know that I'm in a meeting," and Gabri responded, "Yes, I know, but what I have to say is more important."
He was probably right.
That's
to be
legit.
honest,
That's
he was
legit.
probably right.
Yeah, yes. Chances are that the meeting could have been just an email, whatever, right? So as usual.
Well, yes and no, but we need to work on the importance of messages.
Papi's space, right? Papi has to work. Daddy has to work.
No, not even that. I mean, it's more like, probably telling me that the drawing that he just made is finished. I've waited a couple of seconds more.
Fair enough. Sebastian, what are you doing?
Web notifications. They do
What
not
do you mean
work.
web
You know, you can show notifications from the browser, right?
Yeah, ideally, yes. I mean, a lot of websites do that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you should actually show. There is a show button.
Yes, that's what I've been pressing.
But can you scroll on the Can you scroll on the system bar? Because they should be there.
Nope.
Okay. So I don't know how they work.
It's only complaining
But,
about shit. Well,
Probably
we tried.
not like this.
Yeah, I don't think this is
I-
the use case. Try again.
Wait. I'm thinking what I can do. Can I...
Maybe Chrome needs permissions.
You'd think, right? Let's see. Does
I
it...
don't know. I mean, I'm guessing, right? Because this is tiramisu, so everything is
What?
weird.
Oh!
Look at that.
Oh.
Look at that. The Italian was right.
I mean, we're
Which
all
one?
Italians
Try
here.
again. Yeah, that's the joke, man. Jesus.
I
yeah.
am...
Try again.
Yes.
Okay, let's try again.
Let's try again. Authorize.
Authorize.
Allow. Ah!
Oh, now it works.
Look at
It
that.
said default.
Granted.
Now it says granted. Does it actually
Yeah,
show
probably
anything?
if they say default earlier would have been easier, but
I-
that's fine.
I am pressing show. It's very ineffective.
No. Show in 5 seconds. I'm. Look at that.
Yeah, but still nothing
Try
shows.
minimizing the browser. Minimize the browser.
Wait. Is it okay? If I minimize the browser, will that not make everything useless? But I'll fine.
Yeah, exactly. One thing that you could try is to run two instances of bundle at the same time and trigger notifications from one.
Can you do that?
I don't know.
Well, ideally, you could
It
be.
can.
What the hell is this?
What the actual
Okay.
fuck is going on here?
No. What the?
So
See?
Oh, look at that. Man, the Italian was right. Look at that.
So it actually works.
you
Yeah.
should always
the
trust
fuck is
Italians,
that?
even when it doesn't look like it makes any fucking sense what they're saying.
Roberto, where the fuck did you get this thing from? I mean, wow. What the hell?
Did I
Well,
not?
that's called multi-instance.
Only on tiramisu, or is it like how long this has been there out there? Like,
I don't
Is
know that, but since your app
What?
doesn't have any authentication or anything, I thought that it could be running multi-instance.
I'm gonna clip this because this somebody clips this. Oh man, Sebastiano, did you know?
I have no fucking clue what's going on. Help!
How does it
Send
I mean,
help!
Well, it works. Perfect.
Yeah, I know, but how? Why?
Wait, but this
Well,
breaks
you're
the
running
mental
two instances of
model.
the same app.
This breaks the mental model of your application is one.
I mean,
What the fuck is going on here? Which
Well-
user is this running under? Ah!
yeah. But yeah, you know what's about the process, the database, the stuff? How do you? What if you store something?
What have you done to us, Roberto?
Robert,
I don't know.
knows? What
I know
the-
that those are two instances of the same app, and that's the best I know at the moment. I should need to
Like
study
this.
more.
Yeah, it just dropped it. Oh, yeah, just opened the second instance. And I was like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? What the hell is this? Oh, man, I love it. Okay,
This is
so,
what QA would try to do. It's like, oh yeah, I have the app open, I'm gonna open it again.
yeah. It's it walks into a bar, it opens one app, it opens another instance, it opens another instance. This is okay, but now, so does it
So
It
the
does,
next-
yeah,
the
it
last test
shows.
that we can-
It shows up here, so it's fine. It's working.
Yeah, the last test that you can apply because you don't really use the camera and you don't really type
No.
there, it's to see if you can actually use the mouse or a stylus to run the app.
How does it work on the emulator?
Yeah, probably. Well, I'm not sure that you can do that. I don't know if in the settings there is something because you're.
some setting fancy thing in the emulator settings?
I don't see anything. So probably the easiest
No.
thing is to run it on a phone, attach it to the mouse, and
That's you said it like it's easy, but first of all, I don't have a foldable. Second of all,
No. For that, you just need a normal phone. You just because that's a separate category. Just need to see that your mouse actually works. With your app.
I think we're running out of time. We probably should do it another time.
Probably yes.
I'm still stun locked by the fact you can open the app twice at the same time. This is like, I don't think there's a better way to describe my state of mind other than I'm literally stun locked.
Well, that's the app, but I thought that you probably didn't disable that, so makes sense.
I didn't know you could do it. I didn't know I had to disable it. That's how it works.
That if there is something like that available, the default should be you cannot do that. Yeah, right. It should fall back. It should default.
That's how it's always worked.
Yes. So the default is no. If you want to do it, it's gonna be hard, but doable. That's the standard, right?
Probably that was the standard, and now it's changed. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the history there.
No shit. Wow.
Okay. We need to figure this thing out because I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
So yeah, I would say that probably if the mouse works, your app could be ready for large screen. So, yay!
Tier 3. Roberto, Mark wants to see your T-shirt.
When is it the next available spot? It's like in January?
Maybe there's an empty one in November. I'm not sure.
I could book that.
By then, you have time to find out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, plus, come up with a couple of devices that.
Yeah, exactly. We need the physical devices clearly to test this stuff.
Sebastiano needs to plug a mouse, Roberto.
Into something physically, into something. I only have one other phone. This does not get Android 13, so I cannot test it on this.
Anyway, so
free shit.
Unfortunately, we don't have anybody that wants to go to Turin. So
no.
Well, I mean, it's okay because we are not paying for the travel and the accommodation. So I would expect that nobody wants to go. Come on. Gracias, Mike. I'm tired. Sorry, man. So the other, that will be nice. Fair enough. But then we probably have something for London as well. I don't know if it's.
Yes.
Do we still have something for London? So maybe.
Yes, we do. Do you wanna?
Maybe next week.
Yeah, we were planning to give a ticket away for London next week. So.
Yeah, next week is gonna be London. So if it's better for you.
But we have a 25% off discount thing in the meantime.
Yeah.
And I guess if you win the free ticket, you can ask for a refund on the one you bought. I think they'll be fine with that.
Yeah, don't worry. And
there you go. 25% off London. Boom. Done.
It's a few bucks.
The survey thing, even very important.
Yeah. Let me get the. So we were discussing swag with Sebastiano, and we want to run a survey that I gonna probably get at some point. I think you sent me a link.
I think it's merch survey for these.
Let me here you go. So we have this link here, and we would love to have your feedback because we want to start. We want to keep building like a nice catalog of swag stuff. But we also want to give you the opportunity to say, oh, I would like to have this because, this is something that resonates with me. So, if you have ideas, just let us know. We are experimenting with a couple of new, we have a new piece of swag that is coming in a few weeks, couple weeks should be more or less. But we have
We're
other
gonna
ideas.
have it around DroidCon London, I think.
Yeah, for London, right? So,
By the way, we're gonna be
and
both
again,
in Turin and in London, and Roberto's
yeah,
gonna
we're
be in
gonna be,
Turin as well, right?
yes. Is Roberto, are you coming to Turin? You're like literally 1 hour away.
Yeah, we'll be there on the second day.
Okay, fantastic. I mean, we can share the car. Car ride. Anyway,
Fun fact,
uh,
I will be arriving from the airport. So the
nah,
exact opposite
fancy
direction
Roberto.
will
Roberto
be-
is so just let me understand it. So you live 1 hour by car from Turin and you are coming by airplane. Is it like
Yeah.
a longer trip? Does it make sense?
Yeah, I depart from one airport close to home and land to the
Uh-huh.
other one. It's so
Just
low,
because.
it doesn't
Just
even
as-
have a difference between taking off and landing. It's the same.
Okay.
It's literally the same movement.
Oh yeah, Sebastiano pointed out that we are going to give away free merch we are going to raffle the people from the survey. So just give us feedback, and let us know if you want something special. Again, we have stuff on the store that you can buy, and you can become a supporter with Amazon Prime for free, or with coffee with just a few bucks, like a latte every month. Is like the Starbucks you just buy as a coffee. And yeah, this is it, right, Sebastiano? What do you think?
Yes, I think this is it. I want to thank Roberto for coming back and for solving the mystery in the future. So this is like a future on a thank you for you when you come back and actually explain what the fuck we just saw here, because I have no idea.
Okay, thanks for having me. It was nice as always.
Usually
Thank
at
you.
this time, I say I'll see you on the Discord for people that have access to the Discord to make the clickbaity thumbnail for YouTube. But I just learned I have to run in 2 minutes, so I don't think I'm gonna make it. But I'm gonna do it tomorrow morning probably. So keep an eye on the Discord tomorrow morning. I'm gonna put a time and a link to do the usual self-trolling, I guess, at this point. Have a good one.
Fantastic.
And we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.